कहते जब बात है तो बोझ डाल दिया जाता है ना एकदम, या उठा के पहाड़ी से नीचे फेंक दिया जाता है, जिस तरह वो गिरते हुए परेशान होता है ना, क्योंकि अल्लाह का खौफ ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है। पहले 10-15 मिनट तो पता नहीं लगता हो क्या गया है, उसके बाद फिर ख्याल आ जाता है कि अल्लाह ताला आप ही संभाल लेगा, तो फिर संभाल लेता है।
हमदो सना उसी को जो ज़ात जावेदानी।
बैठ जाएं।
जमात के मुखालिफिन जब खुशियाँ मना रहे थे कि खलीफा राबिया रहमहुल्लाह की वफ़ात पर जमात मुंतशिर हो जाएगी, और उन्होंने यहाँ तक कह दिया कि अब तो MTA भी मौजूद है, उस पर देख लेना कि जमात में किस सूरत से तफरीक़ा फूट जाती है। लेकिन उन्होंने अपनी आंखों से क्या नज़ारा देखा। खलीफा बनने के बाद जब मस्जिद में मौजूद अहबाब को हुजूर अजदहुल्लाह तआला ने मुखातिब करके फरमाया बैठ जाएं, तो उसी वक्त ये सारे के सारे अहमदी, क्या वो अहमदी जो मस्जिद के अंदर थे, और क्या वो अहमदी जो मस्जिद के बाहर थे, और क्या वो अहमदी जो यूरोप के मुख्तलिफ ममालिक से आए हुए थे, या अमेरिका से, या ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, या एशिया से, या अफ्रीका से आए हुए थे, वो सब के सब मुजस्सम इताअत बनकर बेयक वक्त बैठ के।
झूठी है सब कहानी, सब गैर हैं।
We came out after the election, and first thing he did was he went upstairs to give solace to the family of Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad.
मैं तो बहुत इमोशनल जैसी हुई थी, लेकिन हजूर तसल्लियाँ देते रहे थे, बहुत प्यार का इजहार किया था।
And then he came downstairs and we went to number 41 where we had made arrangements for Hazrat Mirza Ahmad to stay.
And Hazur himself, mentioned that that night I was in my room and it was only myself, my Allah, and the silence of the room. And I got a lot of opportunity to talk directly, to supplicate before God.
Subhana mayyarani.
अल्लाह ने बचाया, बस सब्र कर लो, दुआ ये दिल च करते रहो, बस अल्लाह ताला सानू इस्तकामत दा।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद कमा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम।
28 May 2010. Lahore's Ahmadiyya Muslims arrive for Friday prayers.
I was late on that day and I decided to go to Baitul Zikr. I met at the gate my very dear cousin Nasir Mahmood, and we start towards the bathroom for ablution. Very strange thing, he was talking about the security concerns of the city, and then he said one thing I remember. He said, Saleem bhai, security is concerned, but it is not that much. He walked into the mosque and I was just following him. He was a bit quick to enter the mosque. He just disappeared, and then I put off my shoes and then I stepped in one step in the hall. Murabbi was just about to start, or rather started the khutbah. I heard the gunshots from outside. I was just clicked me that that's an attack.
Across town, more Ahmadis arrive at Bait Noor Mosque.
जुम्मा शुरू होने से पहले हम लोग पार्किंग की ड्यूटी पे थे। वहाँ पे हम लोग मस्जिद के बिल्कुल बाहर थे। ये वही है जिसमें सारा मैंने देखा। 1:05 पे या 6-7 मिनट पे मस्जिद के साथ लेफ़्ट साइड वाली सड़क के ऊपर मोटर बाइक के ऊपर 2 थे टेररिस्ट, एक मिडिल एज का था लाइक 35 या 30 का, 30 to 35 का, और एक 18 या 19 ईयर्स का होगा। दोनों के पास AK-47 थी और हैंड ग्रेनेड्स थे, और उन्होंने सुसाइड वेस्ट पहनी हुई थी।
And then start hearing more gunshots, and I realized that this is a serious attack. And then from the window pane, I saw those 2 attackers. They were just maneuvering to take the positions.
6-7 महीने पहले गवर्नमेंट ने कहा था कि आप लोग ख़ुद वहाँ पे वेपन्स नहीं रख सकते मस्जिद के अंदर अपनी प्रोटेक्शन के लिए। गवर्नमेंट आपको प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करेगी किसी भी तरह की, बस आपको एक सिक्योरिटी गार्ड अलाउ है जिसके पास सेमी ऑटोमेटिक राइफ़ल होगी, ऑटोमेटिक राइफ़ल नहीं हो सकती उसके पास, जो कि अनवर साहब के पास थी। जब वो दोनों आए हैं मोटर बाइक पे, उन्होंने मोटर बाइक फेंकी है वहाँ पे, अनवर साहब पे उन्होंने फायरिंग शुरू कर दिया। पुलिस वाले उस वक्त भागे हुए थे, और बड़ा गेट जो था वो मेन गेट था, वहाँ पे अनवर साहब होते थे। तो उन्होंने पहले अनवर साहब पे फायरिंग करते रहे वो काफ़ी देर, अनवर साहब भी आगे से फायरिंग करते हैं जिनमें से वो ज़ख्मी हुआ। मेरा ख्याल है इस दौरान अनवर साहब को काफ़ी गोलियां लग चुकी हुई थी, वो फिर भी फायरिंग करते रहे। जब उनके पास गोलियां ख़त्म हुई, उन्होंने बहरहाल अनवर साहब के ऊपर आके पॉइंट ब्लैंक पे आके उनको शहीद किया था।
As the attacks unfold, the families frantically ring loved ones still trapped inside.
फ़ोन पर रब्ता हुआ था अब्बू के साथ, जिसके ऊपर उन्होंने कहा था कि हम लोग सेफ़ हैं, हम लोग छत पर हैं और सेफ़ हैं वहाँ पे मस्जिद की छत पे।
It was 3-4 hours indiscriminate firing, and like the building was shaking like it's a tremor of 7 Richter scale, and I thought that they're going to finish everything.
News of the terror rapidly spreads.
यूके और पाकिस्तान का जो टाइम डिफरेंस है वो कोई 5 घंटे होगा, तो उस वक्त चूँकि हजूर ज़्यादा अर्ली चले गए थे, अभी दफ्तर का स्टाफ निस्बतन मेरा ख्याल है वो रास्ते में था या अभी पहुंचा नहीं था, तो रब्ता कोशिश हो रही थी कि हजूर से रब्ता हो जाए। बाज़ अजीज़ों के फ़ोन हमें भी आए और कि इस तरह कुछ अजीज़ भी और लाहौर में अटैक्स हो रहे हैं, लेकिन उससे पहले हमें उस पर TV पे भी ना, जो पाकिस्तानी टेलीविज़न चैनल जो यहाँ आते हैं उनकी न्यूज़ चैनल्स पे भी हमें पता लग गया था कि इस तरह अहमदिया मॉस्क पे अटैक हो रहे हैं। प्राइवेट सेक्रेटरी साहब से भी मेरी बात हुई, तो उन्होंने कहा कि जी मैं गया था हजूर साहब को इतला देने, तो सब अपने खुतबे की तैयारी में मसरूफ़ थे। मैंने जब इतला दी तो हजूर ने फरमाया कि हाँ मुझे पता है।
After 4 hours, the attack is still ongoing, and the time for London's Friday prayers has arrived.
जमात के लोगों की शहादत का और जमात के दुख का आखिरी वक्त से ज़्यादा अगर कोई ये दावा करता है कि मुझे दुख है तो गलत दावा है।
If at that time, because Hazur came on to deliver his Friday sermon, Hazur had shown any sense of panic, any sense of fear, the whole Jamaat I think would have crumbled at that moment.
बहुत सारा सुन भी लिया होगा, TV पे भी आ रहा है, इतलाएं आ रही हैं लाहौर में 2 मसाजिद पर, मॉडल टाउन में और दारुल-ज़िक्र में बड़ा शदीद हमला हुआ है। दारुल-ज़िक्र में अभी तक पूरी तरह सूरत वाज़ेह नहीं हुई, पता नहीं किस हद तक शहादतें हो जाती हैं कि जो जुमे के लिए आए हुए थे लोग, क्या ये मुखालफतें अहमदियत ख़त्म कर देंगी? क्या पहले कभी इन मुखालफतों से अहमदियत ख़त्म हुई थी? हरगिज़ नहीं हुई और ना कर सकती हैं ये। और ये वक्त को की जो मोहब्बत है जमात के अफराद से, वो उसका अंदाज़ा हम लोग नहीं लगा सकते, लेकिन बताना मैं ये चाह रहा हूँ कि उसके बावजूद हज़रत साहब को चूँकि ये पता था कि जुम्मे का दिन है और जुम्मे का दिन भी खुदा ताला के हुक्म से अल्लाह ताला ने इसकी इबादत को अदा करने का कहा है, और खुतबा जुम्मा भी एक हिस्सा है, अहम हिस्सा है जुम्मे के दिन का है। हज़ूर ने उसकी तैयारी में फ़र्क नहीं आने दिया। हज़ूर सब दुआ भी कर रहे थे, लेकिन इतने परेशान भी हसब नहीं हुए कि हज़ूर ये कहें कि मेरे से जुम्मे का खुतबा ही नहीं दिया जाएगा।
फोर्स आ गई है, दिन नजर आ रही है,
इधर अंदर कैसे आएगी? अभी सारे बंद हैं।
इस दौरान पुलिस की गाड़ी भी आई वहाँ पे, और वहाँ पे आर्म्ड पुलिस पी आई, पर वो अंदर नहीं जा रहे थे, कहते हमें ऑर्डर्स नहीं अंदर जाने के।
4 हमलावर इस इबादतगाह पर, पुलिस को भी अब इस इबादतगाह में जाने से रोक दिया गया है, और पुलिस भी इस वक्त एतदाल का रवैया इख्तियार किए हुए है, और उसने भी कोई जारहाना कोशिश इबादतगाह के अंदर दाखिल होने की नहीं की।
After 4 hours or so, I heard the siren, the ambulances. So then I came out and I saw the bodies lying on the floor of the mosque. It was shattering. It was so it cannot be expressed. That moment.
As survivors make their way from the mosques, families search for one another.
अब्बू के काफ़ी जो दोस्त थे बुज़ुर्ग, वो निकल रहे थे। वो बाहर निकलते थे तो हम लोग उनसे पूछते थे अब्बू का, तो वो कहते थे बस दुआ करें लाल खान साहब के लिए, वो ऐसे कहते थे। जब हमारी उनसे फ़ोन पे बात हुई थी तो उन्होंने कहा था कि हम लोग सेफ़ हैं मस्जिद की छत पे, पर वो उसके मेरे ख्याल है फ़ौरन बाद ही वो वहाँ से हाथ छुड़ा के ये लोग वहाँ से नीचे गए। वापस ये लोग सिर्फ इस वजह से गए थे कि तो दूसरे वाला हॉल भी भरा हुआ था, जिसकी वजह से उनको वहाँ से लोगों को निकालना बहुत ज़रूरी था, नहीं तो वहाँ पे और ज़्यादा जानी नुकसान हो सकता था अगर ये लोग नीचे ना जाते। नीचे जाकर उन्होंने हॉल खाली करवाया। हॉल खाली करवाने के बाद ये दरवाजे को पकड़ के खड़े रहे काफ़ी देर। वो 3 अंसार जो थे उनमें से वालिद साहब थे मेरे, जोहर टाउन के सदर साहब थे, और हमारे जो कायद साहब थे शहजाद नईम साहब, उनके वालिद साहब थे शेख नईम साहब। ये 3 अंसार थे वहाँ पे जो गेट को पकड़ के खड़े हुए थे उस वक़्त। जब दूसरा दहशतगर्द नीचे की तरफ आया था जो ज़ख्मी हुआ था, एक गेट था लोहे का जो सेकंड हॉल की तरफ जाता था, दूसरे हॉल की तरफ, वहाँ पे उसने पहले फायरिंग की, गेट नहीं खुला, तो वो गेट जो था उसने जो उसके जॉइंट से उधर मार के गेट को तोड़ दिया उसने। जब इन बुज़ुर्गों के साथ लड़ते हुए देखा दहशतगर्द को, तो वो खुदाम पीछे से और उन्होंने इसको पकड़ लिया। पूरी 3 देर तक ये लोग शहीद हो गए हुए थे।
And then I went out and I received a call that one cousin Nasir Mahmood and another cousin Umair, Malik Umair, he was martyred. And then I heard one by one about Amir Saab, General Saab and many others. They were just there for prayers. They were peaceful people and they did not have any other intention but to listen to God's words and pray before Allah.
जिसने इनको शहीद किया था उसने अपनी जो सुसाइड जैकेट थी उसको चलाया था, वो चल ही नहीं सकी थी, उसमें कोई मेल फंक्शन हो गया था जिसकी वजह से उसका नहीं चली वो। अल्लाह ताला ने मज़ीद जो जानों का था वो बचाना था वो बचा लिया। बस उस हॉल में सिर्फ वही 3 शहीद हुए थे। जब ये बिल्कुल खामोशी हो गई उसके बाद फिर पहले पुलिस की गाड़ी के अंदर गई, फिर एक एम्बुलेंस अंदर गई, उन्होंने बस उनको गिरफ़्तार किया। उन्होंने उस वक़्त कहा आपने जो करना है इनके साथ कर लो, अभी जिस तरह से भी आप लोग इनके साथ सलूक करना चाहते हो कर लो, पर हमने कहा नहीं, हम लोग नहीं ऐसा कुछ भी करना चाहते।
More than 80 Ahmadiyya Muslims, young and old, have been martyred in a single day. Through the afternoon, the Khalifa's official work continues.
I think I was the first person to be having an official mulaqat with Huzur after that incident. He told me to sit down and I sat down and he said, "Kya kehte ho? What have you brought?" And I said, Huzur, this is a matter that I presented to Huzur for guidance, and Huzur said that I should come and see Huzur. And Huzur blessed me with guidance on the matter, as he usually would on other occasions. And at the end he said, "Bas, theek hai." So I felt that it's not right that I don't express my condolences to Huzur, because he must be even more than the families, he must be the one who must be feeling the grief of the deceased, of the martyred. So I said, Huzur, aaj ke waqe ka bahut afsos, so I'm really sad about the incident that's happened today. And he said, haan dekho, let's see what they're going to do now in future, what else they've got in stock for us. This might just only be a start. So let's see what else they have in store. And he said, हाँ अफसोस तो हुआ है, yes, of course, it's something to be sad about. But, he also added that, जमातें तो चलती रहती हैं, दुख होता है नुकसान पे, we always feel grieved, we always feel the grief of loss on such occasions. But Allah the Almighty has always come for help, and things will move on, and such things actually nurture the growth of the Jamaat.
फिर रात को उस वक्त नाज़िर सवाला होते थे साहिबजादा मिर्ज़ा खुर्शीद अहमद साहब, उनसे भी हज़ूर साहब की फ़ोन पे बात हुई और उन्होंने भी जो डिटेल्स थी वो बताई। तो सारी जो अपडेट्स हैं वो हज़ूर साथ साथ ले रहे थे और हदायत भी दे रहे थे कि अब मीडिया को कैसे अपने अप्रोच करना है। ये वो टाइम था जो हज़ूर ने फरमाया था कि अब हालात ऐसे हैं कि प्रेस एंड मीडिया के से रिलेटेड कि इतनी बड़ी कुर्बानी जमात ने दी है कि अब इस कुर्बानी को ज़ाया नहीं हमने करना और इस्लाम की इशाअत के लिए इसको इस्तेमाल करना है।
इस्तईनु बिस्सब्र वस्सलात, तुम अपने न किसी बंदे से, न किसी हुकूमत से, न किसी सोसाइटी से, बल्कि अपने रब्बे करीम से मदद तलब करो सब्र के साथ और उसके हुजूर गिड़गिड़ाते हुए, उसके हुजूर सजदा रेज़ होते हुए, उसके हुजूर अपनी इबादतें पेश करते हो।
Back then, Hazur used to go for walks after Fajr prayers. I remember the morning of May 29, 2010 quite vividly. I pretty much on my own assumed that there is no way Hazur will go out for a walk. After all, there was a significant event or significant incident which happened just the day before. So after the Fajr prayers were finished, Hazur Anwar came out of Masjid Fazal and he walked towards the house. And just before entering the residential building, Hazur turned towards me and said, "Aaj hum walk ke liye jayenge," meaning today we will go for a walk. On the way to the park where he used to go for walks, Hazur Anwar spoke about several persons who were martyred in the Lahore incident, and he spoke with such an affection. When he came out for a walk, I could see an exceptional jalal on his face. He radiated determination and hope and resolve that these incidences will not bring us down.
Hazur then over the next few weeks called every single family and spoke to every single family member. And not just the family members, there were some people who, even the people who would just be around the house, perhaps some of the workers in the house or just some people who might be visiting, Hazur would spend a certain amount of time every day and he would say that who else is in the house right now? I'll speak to them. And then one by one, Hazur would speak to them, comfort them, tell them that his prayers were with them, ask them what they needed individually. I remember that on quite a few occasions I had mulaqat, and just before Hazur had been doing some of the calls, and Hazur used to mention with pride and happiness some of the patience of the MDs. He said that these people, their faith and love and trust in Allah is such that when I asked them, "How are you?" Hazur said that they would say, "Hazur, we don't worry about ourselves. Our only worry is, how are you? You are our Khalifa." And I remember that on a number of occasions, Hazur became somewhat emotional as he recounted their stories of their bravery, of their patience.
अम्मी ऑब्वियसली माँ ज़ाहिर है उनका, हमारा तो बाप शहीद हुआ था, उनका तो खावन शहीद हुआ था, उनको वो ज़्यादा अपसेट थी, उनको वो ज़्यादा थी तकलीफ़ में। कुछ दिन के बाद हमें कॉल आई थी, तो पहले हजूर की अम्मी से बात हुई, फिर मेरे सबसे बड़े भाई से हुई, फिर मेरे से जो बड़े भाइयों से, फिर मेरे से हुई। हजूर से सलाम के बाद हजूर ने कहा क्या करते हो, तो मैंने बताया हजूर मैं पढ़ता हूँ यूनिवर्सिटी में। तो हजूर ने बस ये चलो अल्लाह फजल करेगा। हम सब ने ज़िंदगी में पहली दफ़ा हजूर से पहली दफ़ा बात की थी ज़िंदगी में। एक तो वो चीज़ भी थी, और खलीफा वक्त साहब की बात हो वाक़े के बाद, तो उस वाली चीज़ का हमारी जो उस दुख के ऊपर बहुत बड़ा असर था, कि वो बताया नहीं जा सकता कि हज़रत साहब की आवाज़ सुनना और उनसे थोड़ी देर भी, बेशक 1 मिनट या जितनी भी देर में याद नहीं जितनी बात थी, तो वो बयान नहीं किया जा सकता किस तरीके से वो हमें सुकून मिला था उस चीज़ का।
क्योंकि शिफा तो अल्लाह ताला के हाथ में है। सबसे बड़ा हथियार दुआ है, और दुआ ही हमारा सबसे बड़ा हथियार है।
आका तेरे बगैर ये गुलशन उदास है, माहौल ही उदास है कि मन उदास है। इतनों की शोरिशों से नहीं मुस्तरब ये दिल.
He had to leave Pakistan as soon as he was elected. A country that has rejected him, but Hazur's love for his homeland, Pakistan, endures. If anything, I'm sure it only increases in his heart. Just a few days ago, I remember Hazur called me for some work, and once the work was complete, Hazur started listening to some nazms in his office. And one of the nazms was written by his sister, Hazur's sister. And I think it was written sometime after Khalifatul Masih Rabi had migrated from Pakistan. And in it, she spoke about how empty Rabwa felt without Khalifatul Masih Rabi. And in reply, Khalifatul Masih Rabi had written a very emotional poem about how much he missed Pakistan and he missed Rabwa himself. And so Hazur listened to these poems side by side. And the actual person reciting the poems was Sahibzada Mirza Ahmad Sahib, the former Nazir-e-Allah who passed away just over a year ago. And Hazur listened to these and reflected on them. And then the first time Hazur was silent throughout. Hazur replayed them. And the second time Hazur stopped them and started telling me the meanings about, because he understood that a lot of the poetry I could not understand. And it was a really beautiful and personal moments where you could see that even though it was his sister's words or Khalifatul Masih Rabi's words, Hazur was feeling them himself. And then at the end, after 15-20 minutes, then Hazur switched off the recording. And I said, Hazur, Jazakallah, bahut maza aaya aapke saath ye sunna. That Jazakallah, Hazur, thank you. I really enjoyed that experience and it was a privilege. And Hazur said, Ke tumhe maza aaya, mujhe Rabba yaad aaya. That Hazur just said that you enjoyed it, but I remembered my hometown of Rabwa.
The Khalifa's faith-based exile from Pakistan means that by 2011, he has not been able to meet his elderly mother for many years.
हजूर का जलसे का दूसरे दिन का खिताब था. इत्ला आई कि उनकी तबीयत बहुत ज़्यादा ख़राब हो गई है और अब शायद लास्ट आखिरी मौका होता है ना, वफ़ात का वक्त है, शायद करीब है. तो हसन फरमाया कि अच्छा उनको ना डॉक्टर साहब को बुला लो. हजूर के बड़े भाई जो अमीर भी हैं USA के, डॉक्टर मिर्ज़ा मसरूर अहमद साहब. जब अंदर गए तो फिर डॉक्टर महबूब साहब की वहाँ बात हुई रवा. उन्होंने ये बताया कि फ़ोन पे बात करके मैं हजूर से कहा कि जी हालत नाजुक है, तो फिर मैं पाकिस्तान चला जाता हूँ जलसे के दूसरे. हजूर ने फरमाया कि ठीक है आप चले जाएँ. हजूर उस वक्त भी अपने जलसे के दूसरे दिन के खिताब की तैयारी कर रहे थे. घर से निकले हैं खिताब के लिए, तो रास्ते में मेरी जो एक पुप्पी हैं जो साहिबजादी अमतुल कुदूस, वो फिर बाहर खड़ी थी. उन्होंने कहा कि हजूर से सब मुलाकात हो सकती है कि नहीं. अच्छा, सारा काफ़िला गुजर रहा था, मैं गेस्ट हाउस में खड़ा था, मैं फिर गाड़ी के पास खड़ा था, तो जो हजूर की गाड़ी हल्की सी रुकी है तो मैंने फिर हल्का सा गाड़ी को इशारा किया, तो हजूर ने हल्का शीशा नीचे किया. कहते क्या है? मैंने कहा कि पप्पी ने कह रही है मैंने जाना है, तो अगर हजूर अगर मुझसे मुलाकात हो जाए. फिर हजूर उतरे हैं गाड़ी से, थोड़ी देर के लिए पप्पी को मिले हैं, सलाम किया, दुआ किया और उसके बाद हजूर खिताब के लिए अपने चले गए.
The Khalifa's siblings returned to Pakistan, but he must stay and continue his duties.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki
लोगों को तो हिसाब भी नहीं होगा. ये तो गैर मतलब लोगों को तो पता भी नहीं लगा होगा कि क्या सब इस वक्त इस परेशानी के हवाले से हिसाब से हैं या कोई ऐसी बात भी हुई है घर में.
नारे तकबीर,
In the days following the convention, Sahibzadi Nasra Begum's condition worsens.
हम साथ ही बैठे हुए थे तो वफ़ात की इत्ला आई है। हसन ने कहा इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन, थोड़ी देर खामोश हुए हैं और चुप करके बैठे रहे, तो दुआ करते रहे। फिर सब खाने की टेबल से उठ के फिर अपने कमरे में चले गए। बस तो अल्लाह ताला यही है जो हुजूर की तरफ से इज़हार था।
By then I was meeting Hazur daily, but I didn't report for mulaqat that day. And the reason I didn't was that Hazur's mother had just passed away, and I thought it would be even disrespectful of me to go there to expect Hazur to come to his office. And for that reason, I didn't report that day. The next day when I reported for mulaqat, the private secretary, Manager Abid Sahib, he said that you didn't come yesterday. And then to him I said that Hazur's mother, we had that sad news, so I just assumed. And he said that Hazur was in his office. And Hazur returned within a couple of hours and was continuing with his work. And I remember being completely astounded, amazed.
वालदा थी, दुख भी बहुत ज़्यादा था, लेकिन जो आपकी बाकी काम है ना, वो फिर उस पर वो प्रायोरिटी लेते हैं फिर ना, जो अल्लाह ताला ने सबके सपोर्ट किए हैं।
Hazur's love for the Jamaat is such that even at that time of personal grief and sadness, he did not let it interfere with his own work, even in the slightest. And the Jamaat and the mission of the promised Messiah continued.
What we were proposing to happen in Hazur's visit in 2012 was unprecedented and very risky.
To hold a big event in Washington, D.C., which would be attended, they hope, by Congress people from both the House of Representatives and also from the Senate, as well as other dignitaries, influential figures, but they'd never hosted such an event.
It was a time when Islam had been branded by the global media as a religion which not only taught violence and terrorism, but practiced it to any extent.
The political climate in America for a long time, especially post 9/11, had always been or had been somewhat anti-Islam.
And we were trying to invite Republicans and Democrats to be sitting in the same room for this exercise. So the foremost challenge we had was to have members of Congress commit to attend and then also commit to listen to this event. We were so worried about this.
The organisers' worries are not unfounded. During the 2008 US tour, the local community could not convince politicians to attend a special reception and remain for Hazur's speech.
The stature of Khalifatul Masih globally was something that we were just struggling to introduce to these leaders.
There was a senator who came to visit, but he expressed as if he was in a great rush and he couldn't stay for very long.
And he came and was rather terse in his engagement, and I think at one point asked what Hazur wanted from him, as if this was a political transaction.
The Jamaat there presented him with some literature of the Jamaat. He was very reluctant and he said, no, I think I'd rather say no, I'll have to decline.
He certainly didn't want to have any external footprint. He didn't want to make any external remarks, and I think he was visibly unsettled by the ask, and he was almost doing it begrudgingly. And I think the body language was one of him being extremely rushed and wanting to get out. Even before he got in, he was thinking of his way out, his exit.
But things have moved on since 2008, and now there is an opportunity to address far more than the single politician who left all those years ago. On seeing the community's progress, the hateful clerics of Pakistan are consumed with jealousy.
Whisperings and external public admonitions by religious leaders and political leaders in Pakistan saying, look what's happening over there. It's very clear indication, it's shameless pandering by the leader of Jamaat Ahmadiyya in this way to hurt and undermine Pakistan.
As the Khalifa prepares for his US tour, an invitation is received from the highest official levels.
people who were working with the president had given us the green light that we can extend this invitation, the private meeting with the president. We shared this information to Hazur, and Hazur very clearly told us and informed us that it was not important for him to meet the President of the United States on this trip, and in fact, it would be counterproductive for him to meet the leadership because it would be projected in Pakistan that somehow he was meeting with President Barack Obama or Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, both of whom were under tremendous political opposition in Pakistan, and that this could create a situation. I conveyed this to the White House, that the meeting cannot take place because of this sensitivity, and we received a very surprised response from the White House that a meeting of this stature would be declined, and when they learned of the reason that Hazur provided for him not to proceed, they commented, and particularly the director of the faith-based office, that he was so impressed, and he said he had never encountered a situation where any leader would decline a meeting and would give this reason for it.
The Khalifa politely declines the meeting, shielding Pakistan's Ahmadis. Yet, having arrived in the US, there is still a chance of his addressing national leaders at Capitol Hill. But with only hours until the speech, the entire event hangs in the balance.
In order to achieve some kind of a security clearance, there is a formal process in Capitol Hill through the Sergeant at Arms, and you have to process that request. We went through that process for many months and were unsuccessful in waiving any of the security measures that we thought we could waive for Hazur. And it ended up where Hazur would actually have to go through the very process that all other leaders would go through. It was actually conveyed to me the Dalai Lama is wanted, so your religious leader will certainly not be subject to any different exception.
The night before the event, I went and had a meeting with the Amur-e-Kharja team in USA, and I vividly recall Amjad Khan telling me, he said that even now, it's only 12 hours till the event, but if you ask me, is it definitely going to take place? I can't say it will be, because tomorrow morning they may say that when Hazur comes, we are going to do security checking. And he said, if they say that to me before Hazur arrives, it's going to be very difficult, and my decision, or in accordance with the Amir will be to cancel the event.
Even in the hours prior to the event, when we had met with the Sergeant at Arms, he informed us that today there would be some security given to Hazur, where he would have to go through some wanding process, perhaps his shoes and also the turban and many other things, and it was just something that was inescapable.
The Khalifa's entourage sets out.
In our car there were some quite senior members of Jamaat, Mani Javed Saab, Private Secretary, Abdul Majid Tahir Sahib, a few others. And it was about a 15-minute drive from Baitur Rahman to the Capitol Hill. And throughout that journey, not a single word was spoken in our car, in our vehicle. And I remember all of us, I could feel the tension. We'd all heard about these things, about the fact that there's going to be a lot of security checking, and we were just praying that nothing, God forbid, happens. And then even if that passes, that the local Jamaat weren't sure if Congress people are going to attend, or if somebody's going to do anything that or say anything which could be inappropriate.
Hazur said that there was a fraction of a second when a thought crossed my mind that how am I going to speak to these people who I'm going to speak to today.
And yet, when Hazur arrived on Capitol Hill, he was greeted by a United States Senator, Senator Casey, and a United States Congressman, Congressman Sherman. And they told us that Hazur would be escorted without any security. This was disclosed to me when Hazur arrived.
I have served in U.S. police departments for about 13 years, and few of them have been with Washington Metropolitan Police Department. You know, as police officers, we are trained to read facial expressions, and especially those of other police officers. And security officials who were on duty, upon seeing Hazur, were in absolute awe and reverence and respect for Hazur, and you could clearly see on their faces. And the same police who were once adamant that there will be absolutely no exceptions to submission of security screening, opened up the security barriers and invited Hazur Anwar, and not just Hazur, but all the Kafla members.
I remember as we were going across from one part of the building to another, I suddenly heard one of the security guards quite aggressively shout out, "Stop," like that. And at that point, it just came to me that they're going to stop either one of us or one of the MDs has done something or gone in a certain place where which is why the security guard is so angry and aggressive. But I looked around and all the MDs were continuing to travel freely, unimpeded. And the person he'd actually stopped was a member of Congress and his staff member. And so that was the way that Allah Ta'ala opened the Congress and made it a home of Ahmadiyya on that particular day.
And there was maybe about 50 or 60 American families who were there with their kids looking at the tour, and all of a sudden saw Hazur, and they immediately took out their camera phones and their regular cameras, and they started taking pictures of Hazur.
Hazur was escorted to the public viewing gallery in the House of Representatives, where they were having a full session of Parliament, or of Congress, should I say. And many of the Congress people were there delivering short speeches or making points, as they would do as their normal order of business. And I was under the impression that they had just asked Hazur to visit just so that he could sample the atmosphere. But then Congressman Brad Sherman was invited to address the House of Representatives.
It's my honor today to welcome to the House of Representatives His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad. He is with us today in the gallery. I'm proud to join with our colleagues O'Loughlin and others in introducing a resolution today in honor of His Holiness's visit here to our nation's capital.
And none of this was scripted. None of this was part of the Amur-e-Kharja plan that we had. This was all strictly because of the angels who were present in the room and who were guiding Hazur.
The reception in Capitol Hill, it was held in a room called the Gold Room. Many of the people who were organizing the event, when they'd researched similar events or similar religious figures who have come, they said that it's very difficult to get more than between 5 to 8 members of Congress to attend such an event. At a push, you might get 9 or 10. But in this event, with the grace of Allah, well over 30 attended, plus around 120 senior dignitaries or influential personalities from think tanks, from the world of academia.
Persecuted for your beliefs, jailed for your faith, and exiled from your homeland, but you refuse to turn to bitterness or vengeance. Instead, His Holiness has emerged as a leader of wisdom and compassion, a champion of nonviolence among nations and respect among faiths. Thank you for your leadership role, for your being such a visionary, such an inspiration. It is an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you for bringing us all together to honor you and for the work that you have led us in to build a better future. Thank you, Your Holiness. Thank you, Your Holiness.
We were told that Nancy Pelosi, she had other engagements, so she may only be able to come for a couple of minutes and would not be able to stay for Hazur's address. But then once Hazur started speaking, you could see her physically take great interest in whatever Hazur was saying, and then she stayed throughout the event.
The Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, he instructed all Muslims to always remember that an Arab is not superior to a non-Arab, and nor is a non-Arab superior to an Arab. And he taught that a white person is not superior to a black person, and nor is a black person superior to a white person. Thus, it is clear teaching of Islam that the people of all nationalities and all races are equal. In short, if we desire peace to be established in the world, then we must leave aside our personal and national interests for the greater good, and instead we must establish mutual relations that are based entirely on justice.
There were other members of Congress who were on their last years, their last terms, and were commenting on how in their entire career they had never heard a speech of this type. And others had mentioned that Hazur had talked about protecting religious freedom, and to have a religious leader of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which is sorely persecuted, come all the way to Capitol Hill and deliver a message that transcended politics, that was a distinctly spiritual message, was something that was also unique.
Witnessing the entire scene is the same national politician who hurried away in 2008.
In 2008, I think that the body language of this congressman was, he just thought he was meeting another political leader who wanted something from the United States. It was a very transactional relationship. In 2012, it was transformative. He was transformed. He was a different person. He understood the Jamaat more. He understood who Hazur was.
He made it a point to walk to Hazur, talk to him, express his, the feelings that he had, the good feelings that he had after listening to Hazur's speech, and stayed there for longer, had a long discussion with Hazur, and his attitude towards Hazur and the Jamaat had totally changed.
The agenda of Hazur is sublime. The agenda of Hazur is elevated. And when members of Congress who are ordinary political leaders see an extraordinarily spiritual person, they themselves are humbled. And this member of Congress was humbled in the course of this arc of 4 years between meeting Hazur in 2008 and listening to Hazur's address at Capitol Hill in 2012.
Hazur said that there was a fraction of a second when a thought crossed my mind that how am I going to speak to these people who I'm going to speak to today. But he said that it was just a fraction of a second, and it was immediately replaced by the comfort that was given by Allah Ta'ala. And he said that Allah Ta'ala instilled in my heart a revelation that had been vouchsafed to the promised Messiah والسلام, which says, Nusrat bir Rob, that you have been helped with grandeur, with dignity, with prestige.
ऐसे लगता था कि कैपिटल हिल्स हमारा है, सेनेटर्स और बाकी लोग जो सामने से आते थे वो साइड पे हो जाते थे. तो मैं उस पर हंस रहा था. मैं कहता कि अल्लाह मियाँ जो है ना, फ्यूचर की जो होता है ना, फ्यूचर फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके फ्यूचर की जो तरक्की है ना, है वो दिखा रही है कि जब खलीफतुल मसीह आइंदा ज़मानों में जब जाया करेंगे स्टेट्स में, तो उसी की जगह होगी वो असल में ना. तो बाकी जो लोग हैं वो साइड पे हुआ करेंगे.
अहमद का जो आज सालार है, तीर हाथों में उसके न तलवार है, साथ फौजों की कोई न यलगार है, इब्न मंसूर की एक ललकार.
The Ahmadiyya community is one that has suffered terrible persecution around the world. Instead of falling into closing in or closing off or turning inward, to hear his deep commitment to the world, not just to the Ahmadiyya community, but to seeing more peace and more love throughout the world is truly astonishing, is an inspiration to us all.
He had a very interesting talk about the work that His Holiness does and the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in promoting peace and reconciliation, and I would like very much to confirm my support
I was struck by the remarks he made about the importance of peace in the community and a very clear message for all of us as to the part that we should be playing.
दीन अहमद का जो आज सालार है, तीर हाथों में उसके न तलवार है, सात फौजों की कोई न यलगार है, इब्न मंसूर की एक ललकार है.
Whatever we can do is to preach. It's a slow process, but we hope one day, ultimately, we shall win the hearts of the people.
तीर हाथों में उसके न तलवार है, सात फौजों की कोई न यलगार है.
How do I feel? Great responsibility. It's not an easy job to lead the people and show your examples, but I can see that God is with me.
सात फौजों की कोई न यलगार है, इब्न मंसूर की एक ललकार है, एक ललकार है.